Good day, this is DK Bold with your Bold Business Report and another Wall Street Journal update. Today on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, banks falter in a rules fight. Now sure enough, significant resistance from Senate Democrats as Wall Street firms are lobbying to basically avoid charges, or avoid changes I should say, avoid changes in the derivatives business. Now, what the heck are derivatives? Well, derivatives are financial instruments that they get value from the movement of something. For example, commodities or wheat, for example, or even interest rates. The challenge is this is pitting the largest firms, the largest Wall Street firms, and their end user, industrial customers many times, against Washington. And Arkansas Senator Blanche Lincoln, a Democrat there, is expected to propose a bill that, of course, these bankers do oppose. So that will definitely play out over the days ahead. Now, next up, inside Toyota, executives are basically trading blame for their issues there. Sure enough, it's a typical he said, she said, yet in Japan you don't often have a situation like this. Sure enough, President Akio Toyoda, a family member of the founders of Toyota, he is blaming the non-family member and non-family executives along with a group of professional managers. Now, this feud is definitely a distraction in their current situation as well as their ability to rebuild. And you're also going to see another article coming up here shortly that will add to this. So moving on to the next section, we've got the marketplace. And sure enough, great news here. And we definitely want to grab onto this. Intel, their earnings sets a high bar. So they posted the strongest first quarter since the company was founded. And this came from new microprocessors. Apparently customers are out there willing to buy the products that these microprocessors go into, whereas profit nearly quadrupled and revenues rose 44%. And for those of you out there looking for a job, they are planning to hire 1,000 to 2,000 new employees. And better yet, their forecast looks good going forward and provides a strong indication for all of technology. So for those in the technology world, which is a place where I came from, hang on, it could be a good year after all. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Toyota, sure enough, back here in the marketplace section, they're under fire, and they have halted sales of the Lexus GX 460. Now, this is a temporary halt, but comes at, as we mentioned earlier, a very bad time. Now, Consumer Reports has issued a don't buy recommendation, which is extremely rare, and they've only done it to date, or what I had found out, only one other time. Now, Lexus engineers are working to replicate this issue and ultimately determine the cause by the end of this week. Moving on to our third section, money and investing. Property loss pounds Morgan Stanley. Well, they are looking to lose about 2/3 of $8.8 billion real estate fund from bad property investments. Now, these guys were once the high flyer in real estate deals, doing $17.4 billion over the past 20 years all across the world. Yet this loss would be the largest dollar loss in the world in the history. And again, this is much like Toyota. This is a distraction for Morgan Stanley because they too are in that rebuilding phase. Now, moving on, next front page article for the money and investing section. The Treasury moves to protect federal benefits. Now, this could be a good thing if you happen to be in a financially challenging position, because the new rules would prevent banks from seizing Social Security and other federal benefits from customers if you're in a collection situation. Now, this law to protect the Social Security it's always been there. The challenge is, and the gray area that kind of hits is what happens once these dollars are direct deposited into your bank account. That's where it becomes a bit of a challenge. These new proposals will require banks to review those direct deposits to see if any came from federal benefits, segment those out, and then any garnishment would be above and beyond those dollars coming in or direct deposited to your account. Now, last but not least, I definitely wanted to bring in a small business tip, and this is talking about forming an LLC. Now, this is a broad brush overview, and I highly recommend, I'll give a couple of recommendations here at the end for places to go for further information. But fundamentally, an LLC it offers it offers liability protection, flexibility, and tax efficiency. Now, the liability is generally limited to how much you put into the company, and the management structure is much less formal than that of a regular corporation, whereas you don't have to keep up with all of the minutes and the board meetings and those things. Now, also, taxation and taxes are passed through, much like a sole proprietorship or an S corporation. Now, forming an LLC requires the filing of an article of organization with your state, and that can vary, and the types of documents can vary across states. This is where I get into a recommendation of, I would highly recommend you check out the SBA, Small Business Administration website at www.sba.gov, as well as a great resource that I have found is a company called Nevada Corporate Planners. And they can provide an entire package to provide your solution and get you set up with an LLC, among other things. And their website is www.nvinc.com. That's nvinc.com. Well, that concludes our Bold Business Report for today. I hope you have a wonderful day. As always, please leave a review down below here. I would love to get your opinions and thoughts, especially on this new video format that I'm using, as well as please take a moment, take action, check out findyourpassions.com. As always, you have a great day. This is DK Bold. Take care.